93 WIBC, it's Terry Stacy. Well, if you are a part of a family with 3 kids, we're told that the firstborn is the egocentric. That's me. And the third is always and will always be the baby. And if you are the one that was born in the middle, you are said to be the one that is most independent because you're neglected, unfortunately, which means that it's probably pretty tough this time during the holidays. Joining us now is your middle child advocate blogger, Bruce Hoffman. He is the International Middle Child Union boss, and he's also the Middle Child Party founder. And he's given a classic Christmas poem, A Middle Child Makeover, that we cannot wait to hear. Please welcome Bruce Hoffman. Hello, Bruce.
I want to wait for the applause to die down. Okay, all right. Good. Hi, Terry. How are you doing?
We're doing fine. You're right. The applause, I had to almost like put my hand up and say, everybody just slow, just whoa.
It was so overwhelming. I almost couldn't hear it. That's what the problem was. But I'm good with it. Look, I'm a middle child, as you've made very clear.
Yes.
Any attention I can get is fine. Is fine. So
okay.
Talking with you, I don't need the applause. Just being on the air, letting me share our story, the middle child story with Indianapolis. I'm glad. I'm thrilled to be here. Believe me.
I'd really like for you to talk about what it was like for you as a child growing up as the middle kid.
Well, you set it up perfectly. It is, the firstborn will always be the firstborn. Yeah. You're
precious.
And look, I'm not blaming my parents. Really, I know they did a great job. They were wonderful parents.
Uh-huh.
Your firstborn is your firstborn. They're always going to have that special place in your heart.
Yeah.
They were your first. Then there's now, and it's not just a matter of it's a family of 3. There's there could be lots of kids in the middle. In my case, it was just 3. So then the second child comes along, and it's not as easy. You get as much. You just physically don't have the time to give. There are studies that have proven this. A middle child gets many hours. Hundreds of hours less attention than the first child. That's just a fact.
Sure, scientific fact.
Yeah, I mean, how can you? You have 2. You have to split the time. Then the third child. In my case, the third child comes along. Now that's your last child. That's your baby.
Right.
Now, so there's always that special place. The middle is always the middle. And actually, at my blog, and I will promote the blog shamelessly. It's smackdadblog.com. I have a post about this. There's a spectrum of middle childness. I mean, like I said, there could be a family of 7, and then there were 5 middle children. But I've always felt that the truest, the most hardcore, the most severely demented middle children are the ones from a family of 3, because it's like you are outnumbered. You have an older and a younger that can band together against you. You have no other middle children to take your side. So it's just you in the middle. Mm-hmm. And I've also always believed that my particular birth order was the absolute worst, because my parents had a son, their firstborn son. Wonderful, joy to the world, king of the family. Then they had another child. Now, they clearly wanted another baby. They wanted another child because they had me. I'm just not sure they wanted another son. It was like, oh, boy, we already had the son. And my father had said this to me when I was having my children. I had a boy and I had a girl. And he would always say to me when we had our third child, why are you having a third? You already have a boy and a girl. And I was like, wait a second, that's not exactly how it works, Dad. And that made me realize, okay, so clearly I guess that was his mindset. They wanted a girl. Then they had a third child, and it was a girl.
Oh, no.
And then they stopped having children. So this, to me, cemented the deal. My parents clearly wanted a boy and a girl. They got a boy, then me, then a girl. So when you're in the middle, that's what it kind of feels like, that you're the middle, kind of like maybe an afterthought. Now, again, at the blog, I have a whole post about this. When you think about it, is being in the middle ever really considered a good thing? To people, is it like your lifelong dream to work up to a position in middle management? No, you want to be upper management. When you're getting on an airplane, ooh, I want the middle seat. No, nobody wants the middle seat. When you are lost, or when you're sent on a business trip to a horrible destination, where are you? I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. It's never a good thing, really, to be. Hey, I'm sorry. What is the international symbol? It's not your thumb or your pinky. It's your middle finger. It's the worst finger. The middle is always never really a good thing. So being a middle child right away it kind of has that stigma attached to it.
It really does. I didn't realize it until you really just pointed it out.
Yeah, there's at the blog. There's a post. It's called "Is the Middle Ever a Good Thing?" And the answer is, to me, is no. But then layer on that middle child syndrome. Now, we can agree, not all middle children are alike.
No.
But we do share a common set of characteristics. And so you can understand, okay, the way we behave in this constant search for the attention we feel we didn't get, okay, so they called it middle child syndrome. But firstborns have a unique set of qualities that they all share.
Sure. How
come there's no firstborn syndrome? How come there's no baby syndrome? No, it's just a middle child syndrome. So we have to live with that stigma on top of it. So, things could be worse. I know that, but being a middle child, not an easy thing. I wanted to make this point also. I did form this International Middle Child Union because I had found out in doing some research. I'd written a book about growing up being a middle child, and I was doing some research and came across that August 12th is Middle Child's Day.
Oh, really?
Right? See that, and that's the reaction exactly. Oh, really? And I was a middle child, and I didn't know about it. You would think, we should know about it.
Well, I'm putting it on the calendar right now. August 12th is Middle Child Day.
And I was, if we don't get the word out there about Middle Child's Day, how is anybody going to ever know about it? So my idea was to call for a strike, a global middle child strike on August 12th, which I organized. But I knew if you have a strike, you need to have a union. So I formed the union, the International Middle Child Union, and tried to recruit people. It was pretty successful. We had a lot of media coverage on it. We got a little shout out on the Today Show from Al Roker. I mean, it got a little coverage, and I'm continuing my work from our worldwide headquarters, which is my kitchen. But we're continuing this. It's an ongoing.
It's a fight, is what it is, Bruce. It's a fight.
That's right. It doesn't stop after Middle Child's Day. This is going to go on year-round, so I'd like to mention that also.
Okay, I'm glad that you did. By the way, he's a middle child. His name is Bruce Hoffman. And Bruce, what's the name of the book? I didn't know you had a book.
It's not. It's unpublished. I'm trying to get. Of course, it's unpublished. It's like, oh yeah, the middle child. Who wants to publish his book? I'm working it. I'm trying.
Okay. All right. Now, Bruce, as the International Middle Child Union boss and the Middle Child Party founder, he has the middle child's version of what really happened on Christmas Eve by rewriting one of the greatest stories of our time, Twas the Night Before Christmas, which he has posted at smackdabblog.com. And we are going to hear the dramatic responsive reading. If you have time, Bruce, do you have time?
I'm a middle child, and you're giving me attention.
Terrific. All right, coming up, the dramatic reading of The Night Before Christmas as seen through the eyes of the middle child.
I don't want people to be to hear the drone of my voice. I'm going to try to read this in my best Christmas narrator, Burl Ives, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'm going to try to give this a real dramatic reading. I don't know how that'll work.
Fantastic.
But
all right.
I'm going to try to do it.
Bruce Hoffman, the International Middle Child Union boss and Middle Child Party founder, and his rendition of "Twas the Night Before Christmas." All right, go, Bruce. Anytime.
"'Twas the night before Christmas in some other house. The firstborn and lastborn were quiet as a mouse. The one creature stirring, I probably should mention, was the middle child, constantly seeking attention. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care. Still the middle child complained, theirs are bigger, no fair. While the oldest and youngest were snug in their bed, visions of hand-me-downs danced in his head. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap were so sick and tired of his middle child crap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter. Now what was he up to? Now what was the matter? My wondering eyes through the window could see a person I've seen many times on TV. She whined and she moaned, did this blonde-haired young lady. I knew in a moment, it must be Jan Brady. Marcia, 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 I heard her exclaim. She gets all the glory, I get all the blame. If just for one day I could feel like the favorite, I'd relish the moment and always would savor it. Then, if as a sign from some power on high, a sleigh and 8 reindeer fell out of the sky, that's when Santa lost all control of his sled and hit poor Jan Brady, smack dab right on her head. It's clear what I saw, so it's true what I'm saying, that Santa was guilty of texting while sleighing. Then something surreal happened after he hit her. I wished I had shared it on Facebook or Twitter. With a wink of his eye and a twist of his head, that jolly old man left Jan Brady for dead.
Oh.
He summoned his reindeer and called them by name and told them to hurry before the cops came. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. You didn't think I was going to mess with that line, did you? I'm not like a communist. I'm just a middle child. They flew to the sky as those reindeer did climb and dashed away all from their hit-and-run crime. The ambulance came with its red lights aglow to shovel that mid-kid from out of the snow.
Wow.
The medics declared after lengthy discussion it was clear that she suffered a major concussion. They concurred that her symptoms would lessen and clear, but her middle child syndrome was terminally severe.
Oh.
And as they prepared for her hospital journey, her flash-frozen torso was placed on the gurney. She came to her senses, though clearly exhausted, and uttered these words as she thawed and defrosted. It really does suck being stuck in the middle. We always feel like we're the ones they belittle. Our siblings are normal, all happy and smiley, and we end up acting out, twerking like Miley. She continued her rant as they bandaged her head. It's hard to recount all the things that she said, but the last thing she babbled, I clearly recall. Happy Christmas, she said, middle children and all. And there you have it. I probably can never show my face in Indianapolis again after that, right? But look, you hear the night before Christmas, and as a middle child, I was thinking to myself, what house is that? Everybody's in bed, everybody's behaved, nobody's fighting. I don't know that house. This just seemed a little more, realistic to me.
How long did it take you to rewrite this, Bruce?
Not that long. I actually started last year. I started just like the first verse because I thought, it's a funny idea. And then I don't know. Maybe I was drinking. I don't know how the rest of it happened. It's the more I look at it, the stranger it is. But
You've
so
got
is the
this
whole thing. But so is the original a little strange. I don't know what he was drinking. So
I think you should do an audio version. I think there should be an audio version. Well, I guess you just did.
Didn't I? Yes. Please send me. How much can I buy it from you for?
Bruce Hoffner is his name, and it is so much fun.
Hoffman.
Here's what's even funnier. When Bruce and I started corresponding via email, Bruce sent a note, and he said, this is what I've done. And I wrote back, and I said, hey, Bob, I'd love to have you on the show. This
is like, that's the story of a middle child's life. Bob, Bruce, fine. Just call me. That's fine.
I want you to come back.
Do you have another? I would. Can we talk about gifting and holidays?
Yes, please. Let's do.
Okay, because as you had mentioned, the holidays are a difficult time for middle children because on a good day, we always feel like we're being slighted. On a normal day, so on holidays, it just everything gets amped up to another level. And then also, let me mention the International Middle Child Union, in anticipation of Christmas, we've raised our middle child syndrome advisory alert to red, which is the highest level. So it's just to warn everyone else. It's going to be rough for the middle child. Be aware of it so you know how to deal with it. Okay. Like I said, on a good day where it can be difficult to deal with, holidays are very rough. So, because what's going to happen. No matter what gift you get for a middle child, we're going to find something wrong with it. It's not going to be as good as our brothers, as good as their sisters. So at the blog, smackdadblog.com, I did post 5 tips that I thought would be helpful for people who are buying gifts for middle children, just to keep in mind, so that you don't mess up. But it doesn't matter. You'll mess up no matter what you do, according to us.
Okay, so you've got 5 tips on how to make this a little easier for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you're going to spend on the older or the younger, you have to make sure you spend the exact same amount on your middle child, not a penny less, because if whoever said it's the thought that counts was not a middle child. Okay, we're keeping score, and if you spent more on one or the other, you're going to hear about it. So don't do it. Okay. Now, the only time you can disregard that tip is if you plan on spending more on the middle child, okay, than the siblings. That's fine by us.
Does that ever happen?
No, but if it were to, we would just consider that as like reparation for the years of suffering of being a middle child. So that's okay. You could never spend less. Spending more is okay.
Well, you obviously are still suffering. And I hate that for you. Bruce Hoffman, the middle child advocate, International Middle Child Union boss, and Middle Child Party founder. You can find out more about all things middle child, as Bruce mentioned several times, smackdabblog.com. Also, you can find him on Facebook, or you can follow him on Twitter at MidKid Musings. Mid-Kid Musings. You'll have a great time with Bruce. Bruce, we did have a good time with you. Love the poem that you have created, the rewrite, and I hope that you will come back and join us again the next time you'd like to talk about being the middle child. Perhaps we'll do this every month.
Anytime you'd like to have me back, I'd be more than happy to join you.
Okay, how about
I got a lot to complain about.
I know you do. Why don't we have a middle kid day once a month where you come in and you kind of keep us up to date on what's happening?
I had mentioned this to you. I'm so excited about what you just said, but that middle child in me is believing this is like Lucy in the football. You're just saying this so that you could pull it away from me. But I will. Right now, I'm going to live in the moment and really be excited about what you just offered.
Bruce, Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Terry.
Come back and see us. Thank you.
All right.